Hey guys, welcome back to Coming Soon. This is a show we talk about the films releasing in theaters and we rate them according to our anticipation level. I'm your host, Amy Rose. Let's kick things off and introduce my wonderful panel, starting with Mr. Kristian Harloff.
Hey, hello, everybody. Can't wait to talk. There's one movie that I really want to see on this list. Can't wait to talk about it. You guys can guess.
I sure can guess, definitely. The lovely Maude Garrett back as well.
Hey, guys. Glad to be back.
And David Griffin.
Hi, all. Thanks for having me again. We're talking about The D Train, which is a movie based on my life. So it's going to be exciting.
I've actually seen that movie, and you probably don't want to throw that around.
Oh,
all right. So just to let you guys know about our little rating system again. Number 1, not really too interested in it. Number 2, you're curious. Number 3, you're seeing it. Number 4, opening weekend, you're really excited. And number 5, you're camping out, freaking out, super excited. So with that in mind, let's start with our first film, Hot Pursuit. This one was directed by Anne Fletcher. It stars Sofia Vergara and Reese Witherspoon. An inept police officer must protect the widow of a drug dealer from criminals and dirty policemen. Kristian, I know you're freaking out about this. What would you rate it 1 through 5?
Oh, man. I am camping out. No, I am not. I am not interested in this movie at all.
Wow.
I can tell you why. And it's because as I was watching this trailer, I'm like, because I'm a big fan of Reese Witherspoon, big fan of Sofia Vergara, and I think Sofia Vergara has great comedy chops. And I'm waiting to laugh. And then I'm waiting to laugh, and nothing in the trailer got me whatsoever. It looked like a 99-cent version of Thelma Louise meets a bad version of Bounty Hunter, which is already a bad version of Bounty Hunter. So nothing got to me of this. I felt like these, especially Reese Witherspoon coming off of Wild, doing this. I'm like, this is something that like newer actresses or someone trying to cut their teeth could have done earlier. Not these two. This movie does not interest me whatsoever.
There you go, David.
I'm with Kristian. I'm giving this a 1. I'm just not interested. It just looks like you can just pick everything out from the trailer. I don't like Sofia Vergara playing the same character over and over again. I want to see what else she can bring to the table besides her Modern Family thing, you know? I mean, I love Kristen Wiig. I'm sorry, Kristen. Oh, sorry. I was going to mention Kristen Wiig. I love Reese Witherspoon. She was great in Wild, Walk the Line, all those great films. We were talking about Kristen Wiig last week on the segment, and it was, you know, she's breaking that mold. She's going into doing the kind of comedy drama thing. Maybe if they did something more like that, but this just looks silly to me.
Mom?
Yeah, we've seen Reese with a spoon.
It's hard to say.
Without a spoon. We've seen her.
There is no spoon.
Play that little cute role of like, I'm going to be very serious now and I need you to listen to me, okay? And it's like, okay, what else? You're right, Sofia Vergara. If we have to see her one more time, yell around a lot. Oh, now she's gone like totally Russian and German at the end of that. That was not my best. I really apologize. But it's the same thing. You're right. And it's predictable and it kind of stinks in a way. It's not funny. The jokes don't hit at all. And it's kind of like, ladies, you are established actresses. You know, I want to like this because I want a 2-female lead with a female director and I want that to work. But it's like, don't just go, well, this is a script with ladies. Maybe let's just do this. No, get a good one. The writing's just bad. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of sympathy. I'm curious, but that's it.
I'm also doing the 2 out of sympathy because they are super talented. Even the tagline's annoying, armed and sort of dangerous. You're right. I would love to support a film like this. Thelma and Louise is a classic. This is no Thelma and Louise. But I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe in this case where we always feel like we see the best comedic bits, maybe there are some, they're just not in the trailer. So I'm going to hold out. If I see another one and still don't get a laugh, I might go back down to a 1. But for now, I think they both have proven that they have a lot of comedy. Reese is best in drier comedic roles like Election. She was brilliant in that. And Sofia, you're right. I think she's much more than just her Modern Family character. She's drop dead gorgeous, but she's funny. She's very timely in her comedy. So I do want to give it the benefit of the doubt as a 2, but I can't say that's too generous anyway. So we'll just have to see.
To be fair, when Bridesmaids, the trailer came out, I wasn't interested in that. I thought the jokes were not hitting in that particular trailer either. And I loved that movie. I mean, I love Bridesmaids. So not that I think this could be Bridesmaids, but I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope this is one because it's coming out at a time. Yeah. Like this is like the biggest studio release of that week.
Yeah.
Of this week. So yeah. It's I don't know. I hope that I'm wrong.
Is it because we saw The Heat do well? Like it was released around the same time as like a leading into the summer season, and it had 2 female hosts. We had Sandra Bullock and we had Melissa McCarthy. Kind of the same thing. One was a comedic relief.
But Feig was behind that.
Both,
so
both and Bridesmaid had Feig
big
also.
difference.
Yeah,
So-
maybe this need the Feig touch.
Yeah, everyone needs the Feig Dutch. Heyo.
Should be a T-shirt.
Right. Moving on to Maggie, our next film on the list. This one was directed by Henry Hobson. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Abigail Breslin, and Jolie Richardson. It follows a teenage girl in the Midwest who becomes infected by an outbreak of a disease that slowly turns the infected into cannibalistic zombies. During her transformation, her loving father, played by Arnold, stays by her side. So, Maude, why don't we start with you? 1, not interested. 5, you're camping out. Where do you stand?
This has got my attention big time. This is the first time we haven't seen Arnie with a pair of sunnies and a giant shotgun in his hands going, get out of the way. This is something where it's like tapping into emotions. I didn't think Arnie could act like this. He is not a dramatic actor, but this is all about the relationship between a father and his daughter and making like a critical choice, standing by her side when she's completely infected. That's cool. And what's also cool is that this zombie kind of genre, we've seen it time and time again, and it's kind of forming so many cliches. I just don't feel that this one's actually sliding into any cliches at the moment. I didn't really know it was a zombie film until right at the end. I was like, well, what kind of outbreak is this? It could be zombie, but it's kind of got a very, very dark, real feeling behind it. I'm really excited to see this one. I'm probably going to, I started off giving it a 3.5, but I think I want to go 4 here.
Damn.
Opening weekend, people.
David?
I'm going to 4. I just love all the shots you see in the trailer, the stills of just Arnie. He looks vulnerable. For the first time I've ever seen him, he looks lost. Like he just doesn't know what to do. I mean, Walking Dead, when the zombie, they turn, there's just no salvation for them. Here, he's slowly watching his daughter lose her life. And like, what do you do as a father? He wants to save her. He wants to protect her. I want to see Arnold in that world. I want to see him in a world where he can't, I'll be back. And then he comes back and just saves the day. So I'm excited to see this. I'm a 4 all the way.
Kristian?
Come on, this movie looks fantastic. If you, the next thing you know, the agent comes to me and says, "Hey, do you want to do a zombie movie?" I said, "No, I watched The Walking Dead." But I'm glad that he did do this because this to me looks like, this looks like Copland meets 28 Days Later. Because in Copland you had this vulnerable Stallone who you didn't know he could pull this out, and this is what this kind of role is for Arnie because. Arnold came back with 20, what was it called? That was the movie, The Last Stand is what he came back as his new comeback with. And I didn't hate that movie. I actually quite liked it, but it wasn't a franchise that everybody was familiar with. So, and then he was phoning it in with The Expendables. Mm-hmm. This is the first time that he has to act again. And he also has another movie coming out this week, going back to the franchise this summer, but coming back to the franchise. To see him in this movie, to watch him be vulnerable and to watch him actually see that side of him we haven't seen yet, I'm very interested. So I'm definitely going opening weekend for this, and not just because I'm an Arnie diehard, because I actually want to see his ranges. I wanted to see him doing more stuff like this and bringing this type of talent into his big franchise where he doesn't have to just throw out the one-liners because that's what he's expected to do. Like, oh, wait, that guy can do that too? So, yeah, I'm on board.
I just want to insert Arnold in this conversation as much as possible because of how good your impression is. It makes my heart flutter with joy.
So much better than my Sofia Vergara. I'm still
pretty
embarrassed
good.
about
Pretty
it.
good, but I mean, Arnold, it's on its own pedestal.
Fantastic yellow.
Oh, it's so good. I am really interested in this. I've been following this movie for a long time, and there were a couple delays, and it was kind of pulled from festival, and it's been interesting, and that makes me wonder, was it pulled for a reason, or just was it not the time? Is it strategic? You always kind of just you wonder about that, about the method behind the delays. But Abigail Breslin, she is a force. We know, we've literally watched her grow up from Little Miss Sunshine to today, and I think they look like they're going to have great chemistry. I love this take on the zombie genre. It's always like a different angle, but this is like the bond of family through even becoming a zombie. So you wonder, is he going to become one? We don't know where the story is going to go, but I think star power plus Jolie Richardson, who's always just really likable and charismatic. This looks like a very different take on the zombie genre. And I do have fatigue with telling the same story over with vampires and zombies and all that. I love monsters, but in this case, it looks like a unique premise. So I would say I'm also a 4 opening weekend. All right, guys, moving on to the D Train. David Griffin's movie. Director Andrew Mogul and Jared Paul helm this one. It stars Jack Black, James Marsden, and Katherine Hahn. The head of a high school reunion committee, played by Jack Black, travels to Los Angeles to track down the most popular guy from his graduating class, played by Marsden, to convince him to go to the reunion. So, David, my man, 1, not interested. 5, camp out. Where are you in your own biography?
I'm a little bit scared now because you said maybe I should be associated with this film. So I was at a 3. Now I'm kind of at a curious. Maybe going down to a 2 right now. I love Marsden. It's always good to see Cyclops. You know, he's. I think that was maybe one of, I don't know, performance-wise, maybe that was one of his worst movies, I thought, because he's held back so much, I felt, in those movies. He had to be kind of
He was so much better than that.
Exactly. Yeah. And every time I see him now, I really enjoy him. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. But I like Jack Black. I like when he has a good role. I actually liked him in King Kong. I thought he was enjoyable in that. I think.
How interesting.
Yeah, I actually enjoy him. He's a good comedic actor, but he's also can do drama. He's got an interesting charm about him that I find interesting. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm curious too.
Nod.
Yeah, this isn't really a story that I'm invested in. It's like, whoa, a high school reunion. I left the country so I would escape my high school reunion. So having to watch someone try and make it happen, it's just like, meh. I actually thought that Jack Black was unrecognizable in this movie. I had to double take. I heard him and I'm like, oh, it's Jack Black. And then I saw him and I was like, where are you, Jack? Oh, there you are, Peter. And I was just like, wow, he's really kind of changing. And I would hope that he was chucking an Arnie and going against his familiar grain that he kind of delivers when he acts. And then I kind of was like continuing to watch this trailer. I'm like, nope, there it is. There's the Jack Black. Come on, buddy, break out a little bit. So, I mean, James Marsden's probably going to be my draw card. I think he's like a really gorgeous, arrogant character in this that I would want to watch. But just the story, I mean, it's just, I'm not interested in it. So I guess I'll go too curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kristian?
I'm going seeing it because what I'm going to hope on here is the directing and the writing, because that's crucial to this movie. Because you're right, Maud. It's a movie that's fairly simple, and it's like, well, it's just a high school reunion. Something has to happen. Something's going to happen. There's going to be some kind of incident from what you see in the trailer, and that's got to. I just don't want it to turn into like a Cable Guy type thing, because at the end he's kind of brooding, and this kind of seems to be the theme of this show, is that we're talking about comedic actors who haven't broken out of their shell, and Jack Black can do drama, like David said, he can, but then he also, even when he's doing drama, it seems to be like, oh, I've seen him do that before. I've seen him do that before. And James Marsden, we talked about it last week, he pops up in everything. It's like if there was a 7-Eleven commercial, he'd probably be in that too. Like, so he's in a lot of stuff, and so you don't know if it's going to be good or bad. He's always good. So this movie, because of the potential it could possibly have, makes me want to see it.
Yeah, so I did see this at Sundance, and I'll add that in a moment. But before that, with a clean slate, I was definitely seeing it because of them, because of the actors. Not to mention Kathryn Hahn. She's so damn likable and so funny and so down to earth. James Marsden, he's a really good actor. And Jack Black, I mean, sure, he's been in a couple dumb movies, but he's also been in Bernie, where he was amazing. And I really liked School of Rock. I thought it was charming.
Yeah, me too.
So I think that he really does have the chops. He just has taken some questionable films that maybe I would have passed on. But he can sing, he can dance, he can act. I mean, he's definitely a triple threat. So I think, and High Fidelity was one of my favorite films of all time. So I definitely was intrigued with the premise. And now that I've seen it, I'm not going to say more than it takes bromance to a level that I didn't need to see. It is a weird movie. Weird movie. Ooh. So you should all see it, and you should maybe raise your anticipation level because of the controversial, interesting, fascinating craziness with it. So that's all I'm going to say.
So I guess an incident does happen. That's what it seems like.
Incident?
Twist.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Five Flights Up is our next film. Richard LeCrane directed this one. It stars Diane Keaton, Morgan Freeman, a long-time married couple who've spent their lives together in the same New York apartment become overwhelmed by personal and real estate-related issues when they plan to move away. So, David, let's start with you.
I'm saying seeing it. 3. Every time I see Morgan Freeman and Diane Keaton, it kind of, not together, but just brings back childhood memories from my early times watching films. My mom, Driving Miss Daisy was one of the first movies I actually remember watching with my mom.
Aww.
Then, of course, Godfather I watched. Again, like we talked about Alien in one of our other segments, Amy Rose. Probably saw it maybe too young, but just seeing, Godfather. Godfather, seeing Diane Keaton and Godfather and all that. And it's just, those are some of my earliest childhood memories of watching movies, so I just love those two together. It looks cute. It's going to be a heartwarming movie. I don't know if there's going to be too much to it, but it's still like those are just two great actors, so I'm going to go see it for sure.
Kristian?
I think that's why I'm going to go with Curious, because I don't know how much there's going to be to it. And strangely enough, the reason I'm going Curious and not seeing it is because of Morgan Freeman, not because I don't love him as an actor. He's one of my favorites of all time, but he's been taking everything that's been offered him. everything.
Definitely.
Dolphin Tale 2, whatever.
Whoa, that's an amazing movie.
It sure is.
It is.
All right, so
you don't have a heart.
It's fine, but he wasn't in it. He was phoning it in that movie,
True.
for the most part. But
True
even
story.
when he's phoning it in, it's a great performance. But that being said, to see him and Diane Keaton together is enough for me to say I'm curious because I want to see what they can do, and they are these seasoned vets who that if their chemistry is, from what it looks like in the trailer, their chemistry is going to work. So it's just a matter of what's to the story, and if it's fun, then I'll come back and say that I wish I would have done Camp Out.
I'm also too. I'm curious. I love these actors, but the premise is just not that intriguing to me. I completely agree. Dolphin Tale is really special because of how much those dolphins have inspired people without limbs, especially. So that one, yeah, he phoned it in with his role, but he literally told. I had my 5-year-old nephew with me during the interviews. We went to Florida, and it's his favorite franchise ever, and it was the cutest thing. And he's like, "Why did you come back for the sequel?" And he's like, "You're not going to like the answer. Money, money, money." He literally told my 5-year-old nephew that, and I was just like, on one hand, I admire the fact that you're being genuine and authentic. On the other, he's right here and his jaw just dropped because you just crushed his dreams, dude. So it was quite a moment we're all gonna never forget, and it's
Welcome
on camera.
to the real world, kid.
Right? It's like, oh wow, okay. So I do agree. Diane Keaton, I've loved her since Annie Hall. She's great. She kind of always plays that role, though. It's kind of always that kind of like ecstatic, kooky, cute character. So I can't say I'm too intrigued, but they are definitely talented. So I would say I'm curious. Maud?
Look, they're both great individual actors, but you're right. She's usually that eccentric kind of woman that's either an artist or something flamboyant like that. But what I think is really great is that I never pictured these two together. These two romantically linked. It's like, whoa, this is kind of cool. And the fact that they are really cute together is so much better as well. These guys are bouncing off each other incredibly well. If that's because they are, seasoned actors or because they have genuine chemistry, I'm all about it. Now, the premise is about moving house in Brooklyn. And you're right, that doesn't really sound that exciting, but I feel like you could have almost like a Seinfeld effect with this, where it's not much to go on, but everyone can relate to it. And the writing kind of seems a lot more sharper and wittier. I think that with Hot Pursuit, it's an elaborate story and it's a lot of trying to fit everything into, a short amount of time, and it's like bum, 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 and you just like, but it's very thinly layered. This one, it's a small concept that I think they can really, really build upon. I just don't think anyone under 30 is going to be watching this or will even get it. So I'm under the 30-year-old mark, but I still am giving it a 3. I'll see it.
I love that the dog is still old too.
Yeah.
Look how old that dog
Look
is.
how cute he is.
He has very distinguished grays.
Yeah.
Look how cute he is. All right, guys, we're going to cut the show right here. Thanks so much for joining us for another Coming Soon episode. I'd like to thank my wonderful panel, starting with Mr. Kristian Harloff.
Check me out at Kristian Harloff on both Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you watch myself, Maud Garrett, and John Campion on AMC Jedi Council every Thursday. #AMC Jedi Council.
The lovely Maud Garrett. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, we're going to be online. I was going to say, on the Millennium Falcon because I'm a Jedi, whatever. Look, at Maud Garrett. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, blah.
Wonderful
Is that a
David
new
Griffin.
site?
Blah,
You
blah,
can
blah.
find me on blah 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 as well on Twitter at
All the good
Griffin
kings
DE.
say. I tried to talk.
And
Really cool kids saying.
And I'm Amy Rose. You can find me at Amy Rosie on the various social channels. Simmer down, monkey. And don't forget to subscribe. I can't hold it together.
Come on! Get it together!
Let's go.
This is Coming Soon. This is AMC. These are the
Sorted.
people.
I lost it. It caught me by surprise. But thanks for your support. Like, subscribe, share. You know the deal. We'll see you next week.